All right, welcome everybody to Mitch Maeli Live. It's just me today. Maeli's actually the president of the Utah Women's Real Estate Investor Network, and she has an event tonight. So I'm you guys are stuck with me. We're going to be doing deal or no deal today. So we've got some awesome stuff for you. A couple of quick announcements. The team just got back from Cancun, Mexico, which is awesome. If you had a chance to join us out there, we had a great time. So. We are having a live workshop. This is for brand new investors who want to come learn about how to fund fix and flip deals using other people's money, how to structure seller finance acquisitions. In other words, buy properties using other people's mortgages, other people's money. We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about some awesome debt payoff strategies, whether you've got personal debt or mortgages on rental properties. We're going to be talking about this tomorrow night in Murray, live and in person. We're working on figuring out how to stream that online at the venue we're at. But as of right now, it's just in Murray, Utah, live and in person. So hopefully you can join us if you haven't already been to one of those events. Guys, let's get into deal or no deal here. So want to make sure we are... All right, we got a couple people joining us on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? You guys can play along as well. I'll be monitoring both chats, so the YouTube chat and the Zoom chat. And that's important because that's how you're going to win each round in Deal or No Deal. So let's dive in and talk about this a little bit. Give me just a second. Let me pull up my my rules here. We can go over the rules. We can talk about how this game is played. So let's take a look. All right. You guys should be able to see my screen here in just a second. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Wade, can you see Deal or No Deal logo? All right. Awesome. Welcome, by the way. Okay, let's talk about Deal or No Deal here. So what we're going to be doing, you're all going to want a calculator. Hopefully you're not like driving or something, because this is an intensive exercise. We're playing for $50 tonight. So the winner, whoever wins the most rounds, is going to win a $50 gift card. So you're going to want to participate. It's going to be fun. And in addition to the $50, even more valuable, you're going to be picking up some knowledge. So you guys are going to be learning how to analyze real estate investment deals quickly. In this particular edition of Deal or No Deal is the Fix and Flip edition. So we're going to be analyzing fix and flips. This also, applies to like the Burr strategy method. So you guys are going to learn this stuff. So follow along. You're going to want a pen and paper. You're going to want a calculator because this is going to be a little bit of intensive. So obviously, Deal or No Deal, we talk about our Deal Spotter system, right? And the Deal Spotter system is what Maeli and I are focused on. Every single day in our business, we generate property leads. We call those homeowners. We see if they're interested in selling, and if they are, we go into quick analysis. And quick analysis is where we run the numbers. Now, quick analysis is what we're focused on today. That's what we're going to be practicing. For new students, it might take you. It's not uncommon for new students for their first couple of times that they're running the numbers on a deal. It might take you, a half hour, 40 minutes to kind of fumble your way through it. But what we want to do is we want you to get to that level for learning by practicing this over and over again. So Deal or No Deal is simply just a simulation where we throw deals at you, and then you take those numbers and you run with them. The end goal of quick analysis always is to figure out what the maximum number that we can buy those properties for, right, and make money. Obviously, we're all real estate investors because we want to make money, right? So we're only going to do deals if we know we can make money. Quick analysis tells us the maximum number that we can buy that deal for. And it comes back to that old adage that we use all the time. We make our money when we buy deals. We cash our checks when we sell deals, right? So you got to buy them right. And so getting good at this skill is very, very important, and that's why we're practicing that today. And then obviously in the real world, once we do our quick analysis, if the numbers check out, we'll go make an offer, we'll negotiate, right? And we know, because of quick analysis, we know what our ceiling is. We can negotiate up to that maximum offer price. And then if they accept our offer, then we go into long analysis where we raise the money. And we also do our due diligence on the property. And then once you have a good deal, that lead that you've raised, that you've run the numbers and they work, and the seller's accepted your offer, and you've done your due diligence, and you still like it, and you've raised all the money, and it's there waiting for you, then the only thing left to do is step number 5. We're going to follow through on the deal, and we're going to close on it. So let's dive into the game. Let's talk about quick analysis today. That's what we're going to be focused on. And let's bring up these rules here. So let's take a look. All right, so here's how we're going to play the game today. All right, so I'm your moderator. Okay, so the moderator, myself, or the winning player of the last round identifies a city. So I'm going to pick the first one. If you're the winner of the round, you get to pick the next city that we play in. The moderator identifies a property. So I'm going to pick a property in that city. The purchase price to be played as listed on Zillow.com. So whatever the estimate is, right? Whatever the purchase price on Zillow is, that's what we're going to play as our offer price, right? As our purchase price. The moderator will provide 3 comps. Okay, we always start with our after repair value, and we get that by finding comparable properties of similar size, shape, etc. And then we take those 3 comps and we calculate, and we divide those by 3 to get our average. Okay, so the moderator will provide 3 comps. Players calculate a minimum desired profit as $40,000. So you get to pick in the real world what your minimum desired profit is. For the sake of this game, we're all going to keep it uniform. We're going to say that our minimum desired profit, we want to make $40,000 on this flip. Okay. Players calculate the buying cost as 3% of the purchase price. Remember, our purchase price will be played as what's listed on Zillow.com. Okay, and then players calculate holding costs as 6% of the purchase price. So we have our holding costs that we have to account for. That's things like interest on our loans, utilities and whatnot. So we're going to calculate at 6% of the purchase price. Now, a normal hard money loan is 12% annual interest. So if we're going to be doing a 6-month flip, then that's about 6% that we're going to be playing with. So we'll calculate that holding cost at 6%. And then players calculate sales cost, so our cost to sell the property, at 7% of the ARV. This is where a lot of people get tripped up. Okay, remember that your buying costs are based on the purchase price, 3% of the purchase price. Your holding costs are 6% of the purchase price. Okay, because that's what those 2 numbers are calculated on, what we buy the property for. However, our sale costs are calculated as 7% of the ARV. Okay, so remember, the ARV is the 3 comps, and then we add up those comps and divide them by 3 to get the average. That's our ARV. Okay, so we'll take 7% of that number. And ARV, of course, stands for after repair value. Okay, then after that, step 9, players calculated the estimated construction cost at $40 per square foot. So Zillow is going to tell us what the square footage of the property is. Take that number, times it by 40. That gives us the estimated construction costs. Players subtract all calculations from the ARV to get the maximum offer price. I'll read that again. Players subtract all calculations from the ARV to get the maximum purchase price. So we're starting with our after repair value. The price of the 3 comps all added up in your calculator and then divided by 3 to give us the average. That's the after repair value. Then we take that number, we subtract our $40,000 desired profit, we subtract our buying cost, our holding costs, our selling costs, our estimated construction, and that gives us our maximum offer price. That's the number we're looking for, okay? So here's how we know whether it's a deal or a no deal for the sake of the game. If the maximum offer price is above the asking price, so what Zillow has listed, right? If the maximum offer price is above the asking price, which is number 3 here, players type deal into the chat. So you'll type deal, right? If you can offer them more than what they're asking, then it's a deal, right? Your maximum offer price, they're asking this, you can pay up to this, we got negotiation room, right? So it's a deal. If the maximum offer price is below the asking price for the sake of the game, in the real world, you can go in and negotiate it, and we'll talk about that as we play. But for the sake of the game, if the maximum offer price is below the asking price, players type no deal into the chat. So if you're on YouTube, feel free to do that in the live chat. If you're on Zoom, of course, use the chat window for that. And the first person to appear, whether that's on YouTube or on Zoom, and I'll let you know who wins. I'm going to be watching that. First person to type deal or no deal and gets it right wins the round. Okay? All right. So, any questions on this? Feel free to come off mute. Let's chat. If you're on YouTube, fire off in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions. You can type it to everyone. That way, there's multiple witnesses. They'll know I'm not just playing favorites. Now, if you do type in and you get the answer, I'm going to have you go through your math. So you want to make sure that you have that solid. And also, one of the things that we've kind of worked out playing this in the past, spreadsheets in the real world, systems. If you build a spreadsheet that just allows you to punch in a couple of numbers and gives you your answer, that's great. But for the sake of the game, to keep it fair, we're going to limit this to calculators only. So please do not use spreadsheets. Please limit it to a simple calculator and pen and paper so that we can keep the game fair. Also, it's going to kind of lock it into your brain better on how it's supposed to be calculated. So for the sake of the game, calculators only. In the real world, build spreadsheets. I love it. That's how Maeli and I do it. But great question, Harry. Yeah, we're gonna have you just chat that to everybody. Any other questions? Okay, we're gonna do a practice round real quick. So I am going to I'm gonna bring up. I'll stop my share here. Let's see. My computer hates me when I stream on two devices or stream on two platforms at once. So I'm doing Zoom and YouTube live. My computer gets super slow. So let's do a practice here. Let me see. Give me just a second to get that pulled up here. Zillow. Okay. Share screen. All right, can everybody see my Zillow screen here? Let's see here. Wade, give me a thumbs up. Yeah, we're good? Okay, awesome. All righty, so let's take a look at this. So let's start in West Valley, Utah. Some nice little low-end flips in West Valley. Okay. So West Valley is west of Salt Lake City, in the Salt Lake Valley. So if we zoom out a little bit here, I'll kind of show you where it's at. If anyone's familiar with the Salt Lake City area, so here's kind of downtown Salt Lake City, and then West Valley is just this area here. It's actually one of the largest cities land-wise in Utah, but it's a great place to go do some real estate because a lot of low-end homes, a lot of fix and flip opportunities, a lot of growth, right? Big population out there. So we're gonna play over here with some deals. Let's look and see what we got here. Let's try to find one that looks like it might need some fixing. What's this guy? All right, so we're just doing our practice round here. This isn't going to count for anything yet, so we're just going to talk through this one, okay? So yeah, look at this. It needs some updating, right? Maybe this is like a cosmetic flip that we can do, little Walmart flip that we can do here. Just some. Oh, looks like it needs a finished basement. Gotta love the pink paint in the bathroom. That's trendy, right? Okay, yeah, this one needs some flipping. So the Zillow price is $445. So we're gonna start out. We're gonna take our comps. So in the practice round, our comps here are let's start out with 575, 605, and 590. So someone take those three numbers: 575,000, 605,000, and 590,000. Let's add those up in the calculator and divide them by 3. Tell me what you get. If anyone's saying anything, you're on mute. All right, I take it you want me to do it. 590. Thank you. All right, 590. So our ARV is 590. Okay. So we're gonna subtract everything from 590. Now the next thing we need to figure out, we know what our desired profit is. We're gonna subtract 40,000, right? Next thing we need to figure out is buying costs. So our buying costs are 3% of the purchase price, which is 445. So what's that? What's 3% of 445,000? 13,350. Okay, now we're going to take our holding costs. So that's 6% of 445,000. $26,700. Okay, then we're going to take our selling costs, which is 7% of our after repair value, which is 590,000. So we'll take 590,000. We'll times that by 0.07 or 7%. What's that number? Okay, 41,300. And the last thing we're going to do is calculate our construction costs. We're going to take $40 a square foot, and we're going to times it by 2,325 square feet. $23.25. $93,000 for remodel. So let's take our numbers, work out the equation, take your after repair value, and then subtract all those numbers from that. And what do we get? Okay, 375, 650. So is that more or less? Is that a deal or no deal? That's no deal, right? So we would type no deal in the chat. We have 2 minutes to do all this in every round. So we would type no deal in the chat. And I believe that was Harry that came out and said that, right? So Harry would have won that round. If he typed no deal in the chat first, then he would have been the winner of that round, okay? And then he'd be picking the next city. We'd be going on to the next round. So, any questions? This was our practice round. We're going to do round 1 coming up. So, before we do that, any questions on how this works? Ready to play? All right, I think we're ready to play. Let's do this. Okay, guys. All right, let's jump in here. Okay, I am going to... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Come back here. We're going to go pick another town. Let's pick Idaho Falls, Idaho. All right, guys, we're gonna pick our deal here, and then we are going to. I'm gonna pull it up. We're gonna talk about it real quick. Do not start doing math until the timer starts. I'll let you know when the timer starts. But let's just, on our system here. Ooh, here's one that needs a lot of work. What's this guy? Yeah, that needs some work. Look at that guy. He needs some love. Alrighty, here's our boy. So this is the purchase price, $165,000. It's got 1,644 square feet. Okay, so $165,000 is our purchase price. It's got 1,644 square feet. So pencils up. We're going to start our timer here in just a few. On your marks, get set, go. 2 minutes. Oh, you are totally right. I haven't given you the comps yet. I'm a goof. All right. Pause. We're going to start that 2-minute timer over here in just a second. So our comps, my bad. Our comps on this are 392, 380, and 401. 392, 380, and 401. Okay, on your marks. Get set, go. Ten seconds. All right, pencils down. Okay, let's take a look here. So, looks like only one to drop in a deal or no deal was Harry. So, Harry, come off mute, my friend. Walk us through how you did it. Okay. Okay. Start with your after repair value. What did you get with your after repair value? Okay. And then you subtracted the 40,000, and you got your buying costs at what? Okay. Okay. Which gives us a little bit of room, right? And at their asking price, if we know we can make 40 grand at what was it, 249, 239, something like that, 243. If we know we can make 40 grand there, we're gonna make an extra, about 80 grand on top of that. So that's a $120,000 flip. All right, so now you see how we're analyzing the deal quickly. Now we know this is a deal. I'm going to come in and I'm going to offer these guys asking price, or maybe if there's a lot of competition on it, I'll ask them above asking price. I'll offer, maybe 180 because I know I'm going to make money on it, right? Okay. Any questions on this round? All right, my man Harry, you get to pick the city, my friend. Any city in the United States. Las Vegas, Nevada. Unless there's another Vegas that I don't know about. Oh, there's one in New Mexico. Awesome. Okay, let's take a look. Zoom in a little bit here. Okay. Let's look in some of these areas over here. Let's see. Here's one that was recently flipped, right? So that's going to be a comp for us, potentially. What's this guy? Does he need some love? Maybe a little love, right? Looks a little dated. I mean, it's nice, it's clean, but a little dated with the the tile pattern on the floor and the walls. Looks like it needs new carpet. This would be a nice little quick flip. Probably some updated cabinetry if you wanted to, right? Could use maybe a facelift on the exterior, maybe some paint on the stucco. I like it. Let's do it. So this is $399,000 is our asking price. 1,660 square feet is our square footage. And let's throw you some comps. So for number 2, we're in Las Vegas. Let's throw comps at $599, $625, and $615. Okay, $599,000, $625,000, and $615,000. All right, round 2. Let's get started. On your marks, get set, go. Thirty seconds. All right, pencils down. Let's take a look at this, see how we did. Okay. Alrighty, so Harry again on the board. That's awesome. Guys, you got to start throwing his in competition. Let's go. All right, Harry, come off mute. Let's talk about it. So what was your after repair value? Okay, we got that by taking the 3 comps, of course, dividing that by 3. So the comps that I gave you at the beginning, you added those up. You divided them by 3. That gave you 613. Okay, and then we subtracted our minimum desired profit. Remember, it's minimum desired profit. Guys, why do we do only minimum desired profit when we're running numbers? Any guesses? Leaves you room to make more. Yeah, all we want to see is this going to work as, like, can we get that? What is our maximum price to make our minimum desired profit on it, right? That doesn't mean we have to buy it at that price, as we saw in the last one, right? That just informs us, like, what's the minimum I want to make on this deal? We factor that in, work it backwards, and that gives us our maximum offer price, right? So our minimum desired profit here is $40,000, so you subtracted that. And then you got your buying costs, which is 3% of that purchase price, 3% of $399,900. What was your buying costs? Okay. And then we calculate our holding costs, which is the cost of our money that we borrow to do the deal, the cost of insurance and utilities. We factor that at about a 6% of the purchase price. So that's, again, 6% of the $399,000. We subtract that from the equation. What did you get for your holding costs, Harry? $23,000. Okay. So we subtract that, and then of course our selling costs. Now this is where some people get confused. Selling costs is 7% of the after repair value, because that's our transaction number, is our sales number, right? Our after repair value. So what was your selling cost at? Okay, 43,000. Subtract that, and then we take our 1,660 square feet. We times that by $40 a square foot, and that just gives us a rough estimate on our construction, right? Obviously, when we go back here and we take a look at our at our long analysis, this is where we're bringing a contractor in to give us an actual bid. We just want to get close over here to see if this is a deal. We can still back out here once our contractor comes. If we were way off and it makes our numbers not work anymore, we can always back out in step 4, right? This just lets us know if, hey, are we close? Should we continue down this process, or is it a waste of time, right? So part of this deal spotter system is it's designed to protect our time as investors. That's one of our most valuable commodities, right? We want to protect that. So that lets us know if it's worth moving on or not. Now, so what was your construction cost, Harry? Estimated construction cost is $66,400. So if we subtract all that, what do we get as our maximum offer price? $427,000, which puts us at about $27,000 above their asking price. We got $27,000 of wiggle room. So we're going to go in and we're going to offer them full price, or maybe slightly above full price to make sure we get it. And we know we're going to make our 40 grand, even if we have to negotiate all the way up to our 427,000. But what happens if it goes to 435? Then what? Then it's not a deal, right? We back out. We say, nope, that's too rich for my blood. I'm out. We'll move on to the next one, right? So in this case, if they take our offer at asking price, we make an extra $27,000. We now turned our $40,000 to $67,000, almost $70,000. And this isn't just a single for us; it's a double, right? So, Harry, congratulations! You win round 2. That puts you 2 for 2. All right, my man, and that also means you get to pick our next city. So, any city in the United States. Ooh, go ahead and give me a city. Ooh, I like it. Salem, huh? Did they lean into the whole the whole witch hunt thing over there? Okay. But I bet the tourists eat it up. Yeah. I love it. Okay, Salem. All right. These look like Utah prices. Okay, let's take a look at some of these over here. Is this a house or an apartment building? Apartment. Okay, we don't want that. Oh gosh, look at some of these beautiful houses though. That's awesome. Ooh, here's one that might need some... Man, you could buy that for $464,000? Oh, 2-bed condo. Okay. Well, let's find out. If we need to pick another one, we'll pick another one. But let's try it. House for sale. Let's take a look at this guy. Okay. Yeah, definitely needs some updating. Alrighty. I think we found ourselves a good fix and flip here. Okay, let me give you some comps. Obviously, our asking price on this is $479,900, so basically $480. It's 2,126 square feet. Let's get you some comparables. So, round 3, I'm just making notes here. Round 3 is Salem, Mass. And our comparables are going to be 750,000, 650,000, and 675,000. Okay, so 750,000, 650,000, and 675,000. Okay, on your marks. Get set, go. Five seconds left. All right, pencils down. Okay. Looks like no deal. Harry, no deal. Talk me through it. By the way, congratulations, 3 in a row. This is awesome. Okay, so let me walk through that again, because part of this is educational, right? So I'm going to walk through each step each time. So we started with comps, 3 comps on this property of after repair value comps are 750,000, 650,000, and 675,000. We add those 3 numbers up in our calculator. We divide them by 3 to get the average, and that is our after repair value, which was, what was that again, Harry? 691,000. So that's what we'll be able to sell this house for. This beautiful, look at this gorgeous thing. Once we fix it all up and make it pretty, because, you know, it might have been pretty in the 80s, but it's not that pretty anymore. We're going to fix this thing up, and we're going to sell it for 691,000 is the plan, okay? So then we subtract from that our minimum desired profit. Now, obviously in the real world, you guys get to decide what that is. But in this case, for the game, it's 40,000. We subtract that from the after repair value of 691. So subtract our 40,000 minimum desired, and then we go to buying costs. We need to subtract our buying cost. How we calculate that is 3% of the purchase price, and we're calculating the purchase price here as whatever their asking price is. So what'd you get there, Harry? $14,397. Okay. And then obviously we need to subtract again from that our holding costs, which is the cost of our interest on the money that we're borrowing, right? And our payments, and our insurance and our utilities. So easy calculation for that. We just usually run 6 or 7%. In this case, for the game, we're running 6% of the purchase price. So what'd you get on holding costs, Harry? $29,000. And then we subtract our sale costs, which is 7% of the after repair value, because when we sell it, we're selling it for the $691. So it'd be 7% of $691 is $48,000. And then to calculate our estimated construction costs, we take $40 a square foot and we times it by 2,126 square feet. So what is that? $85,000. Okay. $85,000? No wonder it's no deal. We'd have to buy this house for $85,000. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. $85,000 for the construction costs. Okay. So now once we subtract, sorry, I got ahead of myself. Once we subtract all those numbers from the after repair value, that gives us our maximum purchase price. What is the maximum, if we're going to make our minimum desired profit and put all those costs into the project, what is our maximum purchase price on this deal? Ooh, missed it by $79,000. Now, obviously, we can go in and we can make an offer, right? In the real world, we would go in. So you said no deal, and you were right, because to the game, we're playing it to the number. That's the only way to do it in the game. But in the real world, we could go in and say, look, here's my math. I'm only off by about $4,000. So if you're willing to, to let me make an offer here at $475,000, this you could make your minimum of $40,000 on. I wonder how long it's been on. It's only been on for 9 days, so they may not be ready to take that kind of offer yet. But you know what? You never know. We could come in, and a lot of times as fix and flippers, we have cash. We're making cash offers. We can close quickly. That may be appealing to them, and that may be worth the $4,000 to $5,000 discount that they'd be giving us, right? So Harry, you were correct. No deal, guys. We got to give Harry some competition here, right? Let's jump in. If you're just watching, start playing. We've gone through this a couple of times, so you should be able to get this down now. Even if you're like, I'm not quite sure yet, jump in and start doing it. That's the whole point of this exercise, right? The point is for you guys to be able to learn how to go do these quick analyses and be able to analyze deals. So there's still a chance to catch up. There's still a chance to catch him. Harry takes round 3. That's 3 in a row. Congrats, Harry. Well done. Not bad for a first time player. I love it. And Harry, that means you get to pick our next city again. Dang it, I keep doing that. I keep clicking that rental button. Any city in the U.S., Harry, where do you want to play? Murray, Utah. Love it. Okay. I've done some work in Murray before. I've done actual fix and flips in Murray. All right. Could have done. I won't make you tell your address over, in front of everybody and YouTube as well. But we'll have to chat about that because I've done quite a few flips in Murray. All right, 418. Let's see. Condo. We don't want to do condos. There's an empty lot. This might be one to play with. Let's look here. We got a trailer. 390. This looks like a condo. Here's 127 West. This one looks dated. It looks clean but dated. Let's take a look at it. Oh yeah, needs a little bit of love, right? You got the honey oak cabinets. Those are definitely not in this decade. Needs a little paint. Probably needs some updated fixtures. Definitely could use a little facelift. I think it's clean, it's pretty, but definitely needs a little bit of love. Just get it up to speed. Maybe some new tile. And in a Walmart flip, we could paint these cabinets white. Just put a thicker paint on there to cover up that wood grain. I've definitely done that before in Walmart flips. Maybe even leave the tile, All right, yeah, and a finished basement. I love when I get to finished basements because I get to add square footage, which significantly ups the value. So this is a prime flip right here. Let's take a look at it. So they're asking 490,000. Our square footage is 2314. Okay, I'm gonna throw some some comps at you. So round 4, we're playing Murray, Utah. Alrighty. All right, guys. Everybody gets to play now. Okay, so jump in. Let's do this. Calculator and a pencil. That's all you need, or a pen. Okay, so our comps. We're gonna comp this out at 650, 675. And guys, I'm just making these comps up off the top of my head, right? Obviously, we're gonna go get real comps, but for the sake of keeping the game moving, I'm just pulling numbers out of my head. So, we're gonna pretend like they're real comps, and we're just gonna play the game that way. So 650, 675, and 702. Okay, 650, 675, and 702. So 2 minutes on the clock. On your marks, get set, go. All right, time's up. Pencils down. Harry again for the win, man. You're sweeping it today. I love it. That's going to be an easy win for the $50 gift card. All right, so Harry, you said no deal. So let's run through it. So we're going to start with our after repair value. Obviously, we take our three comps, 650, 675, 702. We add those together. Then we divide them by 3 to get the average, right? We got 3 comps. That's why we divided by 3. We add them together. We divide it by the number of comps. That gives us the average. That's our after repair value. What did you get? 675. Okay. So we're going to take our 675, 667. We're going to subtract our minimum desired profit of $40,000. That's just what we're playing with in the game. Obviously, you pick it in real life. Then we subtract our buying costs of 3% of the purchase price. That's 3% of 490 right here, right? So what'd you get for buying costs? $14,700. Okay, so we subtract that from the after repair value as well. Then we have to subtract our holding costs, which we have to calculate. So our holding costs are 6%. That's our interest on our money. That's our utilities. That's our insurance. We're going to take 6% of 490. What'd you get there? 29,400. So that gets subtracted from our after repair value and everything else that we've already subtracted. Okay. And then we got to calculate and subtract our selling costs. Now, selling costs are based on the after repair value because that's what we're going to sell the property for when we put it on the market. So when we pay our agents, we pay our closing costs, etc. What is 7% of our 675.6? 47,000. So we subtract that. And then last thing is our construction costs. We're going to guesstimate at $40 a square foot and times that by our 2,314 square feet. What do we get there? 92,000. So we subtract that from the equation as well. So we start with the after repair value, subtract minimum desired profit, buying cost, holding cost, selling cost, and guesstimated construction costs. That number gives us our maximum purchase price, which is in this case, Harry. Ooh, yeah, we're about 50 grand off, right? We're about 40 grand off actually. So in this case, no deal. Right now in this market, maybe they'd be willing to come down 40,000. You never know, right? But for the sake of the game, if it's not exactly, it's no deal. So Harry, you take round 4. We got a couple of rounds left. Let's move on to round 5. Feel like you're playing yourself, Harry? Are you? What happens if nobody else is playing? That's the problem. Okay, all right, guys. This is your chance. This is your chance to get on the board, right? We got a few rounds left. If you want to compete with Harry, this is your chance. So let's everybody participate. Okay. So Harry, you did win the last round though. You won round 4. So your score is 4 of 4. Well done. You've swept the last 4 rounds. What city do you want to play in next? Ooh, Albuquerque. That's we got Charlotte on the call. She lives in Albuquerque. Okay. I always forget how to spell it, so don't make fun of me. Hey, our autocomplete here is helping me. Okay, let's jump into Albuquerque. Let's find some deals here. Home for sale. Oh, it's a trailer. Okay. Let's see, 310. What's this guy? 239,000. Let's see if this guy needs some love. Nope. No love needed. It was recently done. So it's just a low square footage, 840 square feet. That's why it's so inexpensive. So let's find another one. Maybe this guy will want to play. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just some modernizing, right? It's a clean property, but it looks like it needs a little love. Some tiles, some cabinets, maybe, some updating of things, maybe some deleting of things, right? If we want to get like these soffits over showers aren't a thing anymore. May want to get rid of those, open it up, give it some more space, more room to breathe, right? Definitely needs some new carpet. Definitely needs cabinets, right? Maybe some new doors. So let's play with this one. I like it. Alrighty, so we're gonna play with some comps. So we're in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Alright, here's our comps. Write these down, guys, so you can calculate it. We're gonna give you the 3 comps. You're gonna add them up and you're gonna divide them by 3, and that will equal your after repair value. So let's start with comparables at 425,000, 466,000, and 482,000. That's 425,000, 466,000, and 482,000. Okay, on your marks, 2 minutes on the clock. On your marks, get set, go. All right, guys, this is your chance. Everyone play. Harry's giving you a shot here. pencils down. Guys, we didn't get anybody that got it done in the 2 minutes. Now, part of that might be that we have some newer people on the call today. And I know that it takes a minute to get used to this, right? It takes a minute to get used to running these numbers. And you're frustrated with it at first, but that doesn't mean quit. That means just keep going, right? Because practice is going to make you really good at this. So, Harry, did you run the numbers? No deal. Okay. Talk to us about why. I'm going to let you run through it on your own this time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Right. So in the case of the game, no deal. Now in real life, what would you do? Yeah, go and throw them an offer, right? I don't even consider that a low. I consider that a competitive offer. Like, I absolutely would go offer $291. In fact, I'd probably offer even less than that. I'd probably offer like $285, right? And see if we could turn this into a $45,000 profit. I mean, and honestly, the house doesn't need a lot. Like, the outside doesn't need much. Doesn't look like it needs a roof. We may feel different about it after we go inspect it, of course. Harry's our resident home inspector, so you're going to have a better opinion on that than I could. Now, I always hire professionals, but Harry, you are a professional, so that's an expense that you get to save, right? Landscaping, I mean, it looks like it's zero-scaped here. Might just need some weeds and some cleanup. Maybe we get rid of these little scallop, these little scallop things. Maybe replace some pavers, get rid of these old pink bricks and put in some nice new, stone pavers or whatever. And then, paint, carpet, maybe a little bit of tiles and some cabinets. We got ourselves a brand new house here. So definitely something, in the real world we get to play with things a little bit. However, we have a maximum purchase price. There's certain things we can play with, like negotiation. But what we don't want to play with is that maximum number, right? Once we hit that maximum number, and in this case it was 291, like if our negotiation goes above 291, we're out. We don't fudge that number, right? And maybe you're like, well, but what if I could do 30,000, in profit instead of 40,000, and just to get my first deal under my belt? Well, the problem with that is, Harry, as a home inspector, are you perfect? No, right? Sometimes stuff gets missed. Sometimes, sometimes we forget to check things. Like, for example, is it standard for a home inspector to do a sewer scope, Harry? So, okay. But if we forget to order that, then our home inspector may not do it. And, and we may miss that this house has a broken sewer. And guys, more than once I've made that mistake, and it's been a $10,000 fix at least every time. So, we have to allow, and fix and flips, they have so many moving parts that, you've got margin of error, right? So that $40,000 profit, you can count on it getting eaten into. Now, you can also be smart on your budget, maybe save some money in certain areas. one of the things that Maeli and I do is we use templates for design on our properties. So, we have a lot of the same materials being used in every property. We can just roll stuff forward. That allows us to save a little bit money here and there, which usually gets eaten up by stuff we missed, right? So, but that way at least it's not eating up our profit margin. So we've got areas to play with that. So this is good stuff, guys. We're gonna go to 7 rounds. Harry has won 5. That means he's won the game. So as we dig into this, there's some tools that I want to share with you. Let's take a look at those tools. So let me bring them up. So as we look at these different tools here, let's just bring up our learning paths. As we dive into phase 1 of our education, right, which is essentials, we're going to learn about how to run these numbers inside of the real estate red flags class that's taught by Chris Albin, right? Now, in that class, we have our real estate red flags workbook, obviously, but we also have our red flag spreadsheet, right? And you click that, it'll download. And then when you bring up that spreadsheet, it's going to give us all of those fields to just type in our numbers and be able to to calculate that quickly. So you can build your own spreadsheet. You can download it here from your education, right? But this is where we're going to learn how to run those numbers. So keep that in mind. Now, for those of you who don't have access to this, we have got a workshop tomorrow where you're going to be learning about a lot of things. Analyzing deals is part of it. We're going to be talking about how to raise the money for deals. Oops, it says I'm muted. Can you guys hear me okay? It just told me I was muted. Oh, okay. So we're going to learn how to analyze deals. We're going to learn how to, tomorrow in the workshop, we are going to learn how to raise other people's money to go and use those deals and how to make it a valuable proposition for your partners as you do that. We're going to talk about seller finance rentals. We're going to talk about how to pay off debt at an accelerated rate. So you're not going to want to miss that. Also, we have these calls every single Wednesday. So we go from 7 p.m. Mountain Time to between 8 and 8:30 Mountain Time. So it's 60 to 90 minutes every single every single Wednesday. Same link, www.mitchandmaelilive.com. If you happen to miss a week, they are all available on our YouTube channel. You're going to want to subscribe and hit the notifications button so you get notified when those recordings are up. But in the live tab on our YouTube channel, we have all of our Mitch and Maeli live calls recorded and archived for you to go back and enjoy. So you're not going to want to miss that. Now, coming up next week, I need to confirm with him, but he has committed to it. We have Woody Woodward. He is the author of The Drive System. Woody Woodward. He's going to be our guest speaker, and we have also some exciting news. So Woody Woodward's next week. We have in about a month, we're still solidifying a date with her, but we have the co-author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Sharon Lechter co-wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki. We are going to be on her podcast later this month, and then early next month, she is going to be on Mitch and Maeli Live. So you guys are not going to want to miss. Make sure you catch it. Sharon Lechter will be on Mitch and Maeli Live. So don't miss out on that. Make sure you mark your calendars every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Guys, that's all I have for you today. Harry, congratulations. You won Deal or No Deal this week. We play this game about once a month, maybe a little further between than that, but once every month and a half. But Harry, if you would, text me your Venmo, and I will send you over that $50 gift card for winning today's game. Thank you for participating, everybody. Let me ask before we end the call, are there any questions? Now is your time to ask questions. Does anybody have questions on how to analyze deals, how we play the game, why we play the game? Questions in general? Yes, that is a great question. So obviously, to keep the game flowing, I just threw numbers out off the top of my head, right? But in the real world, the after repair value is based on comparables. Now, those comparables, you are going to find properties that have sold in the last, if it's an unstable market, meaning prices are changing rapidly, like what we saw in 21 and 2020 and 2021. You're going to use like 90 days as your max, right? You will go back 90 days. Properties in the same neighborhood that sold, for properties, you're going to want to look at pictures, because you're going to want to be only looking at properties that have been remodeled to the level that you're going to remodel your property, right? You only want to look at similar bedroom numbers, similar bathroom numbers, similar garage situations. Similar home styles. Like, you probably don't want to be comparing a 2-story home with like a Rambler, kind of thing, or a split entry. Like, make sure it's the same style of home. But once you get 3 of those, you want a minimum of 3. Now, I've had people be like, I got 12 comps. Fantastic. That gives you even the more data points, the better, right? But a minimum of 3. You're going to add all of those sales prices together. Remember, it's sold. It's not listed. It's not pending. It's not under contract. It's sold, right? So you're going to add all of those up. So however many you have, if you have 3 of them, add all 3 of them up, the sales price, right? And then divide it by the number of comps you have. So if you have 3 comps that you've added up, divide it by 3. If you have 12 that you've added up, divide it by 12, right? That will give you an average of all those numbers. That gives us a safe after repair value. So that after repair value is going to be the average of properties that have sold in the area, that are remodeled to the level that you're going to remodel them, and that's going to keep us safe. That keeps us conservative. Right now, can it sell for more than that? Absolutely, it can. Right, but we run our numbers conservatively, so that if we're surprised, it's a pleasant surprise and not an unpleasant one. Right? Does that answer your question, Denise? Okay. Yeah. And that was a recent change that Zillow and Redfin made, and I don't know if it's because state laws, states have cracked down on that or what, but it used to be that it was okay if we weren't real estate agents, right? Because, my whole career, I've never been a real estate agent my entire life, right? Maeli, my wife, is a real estate agent now, but that's only been for like the last 4 years. So for the bulk of my career, for the first 6 years, I was using Zillow, I was using Redfin, and then I got to a point where I had sold a lot of properties. And as you start to do a lot of volume, you tend to rely on the same relationships over and over again. And so I started to have, real estate agents that I had made a lot of money for, that I could just call and I'd be like, hey, I need you to run an after repair value for me, right? And they didn't know what that is. I'd train it. All of them knew what that was. But if you may have to train people on what you mean, right? You just give them the same definition that I gave you earlier. If with those relationships, especially if you've made them money in the past, they're usually pretty happy to do that. I would especially lean towards like the people that you're going to have list the property. If you've got an agent that you're like, this is the agent that I know for sure I'm going to use to list this property, that person's going to be happy to run an after repair value for you, right? Now, always remember, trust but verify. You want to trust your professionals, but you also want to verify. So make sure they send you the CMA and look through the CMA, right? Have them include all the pictures and all the listings and everything. Look through that CMA and make sure that they actually are comparing properties that are like your property that you're going to be doing. And then, that's a fantastic way to get them. Now, recently, Zillow and Redfin have taken off all of the sale data. So we no longer have access to that. Now, I believe, maybe you guys can help me with this. I don't use these softwares anymore. I used to. But softwares like RealFlow, PropStream, do they provide that sale data still? Denise, do you use RealFlow or PropStream? Okay. So softwares like that, you're going to want to check. I don't know if that changed for them too, but a lot of those softwares used to provide that data. So they may still, right? And those are paid, whereas Zillow and Redfin were free. PropStream, I think, and RealFlow, I think they're around $100 a month, right? And you may even be able to buy cheaper packages than that, but you can use those. But the best way in my opinion, is form a relationship with an agent. Make sure that you're providing value, right? Relationships are a value exchange. We talk about relationships being one of the 5 currencies of the wealthy, right? If I'm going to extract value, if I'm going to withdraw value from the relationship bank account, make sure that you're adding value as well. And a great way to do that, a realtor's looking for business, right? Give them business. You should be focused on asset acquisition if you're going to build a scalable real estate business as an investor, right? We should be spending most of our time on that deal spotter system. Trying to be your own agent, you're stepping outside that box and you're limiting your time, because you spend time in doing that. You're not spending time acquiring the next asset. So hire professionals, pay them what they're worth, run it in your numbers. That's why we run that's why we run the selling costs at 7%. That counts for seller's commission, agent commission, buyer's agent commission, and closing costs, right? And I never ask for discounts from my professionals, because I let them know up front, hey, I'm never going to ask you for a discount, but I also expect you to not give me discounted value, right? On the value that comes to me, I expect you to work hard for me. And they, most of them have. So those are, that's definitely a way, and probably, that relationship currency with a real estate agent, that's probably the way that I would do it in this day and age if you are not an agent yourself. Is that helpful, Denise? You got it. Absolutely. Guys, any other questions, comments, thoughts? Does it? Okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, good deal. That's perfect. Homes.com. So there's a resource for you. And I don't know if they're just behind the times, if eventually regulation is going to hit them as well, or if this is just something that Zillow and Redfin decided to do that, on their own, that Homes.com didn't decide to do. So fantastic resource. Thank you, Harry. I appreciate that. Okay, guys. Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you're back next Wednesday to see Woody Woodward, and then join us every Wednesday, because we've got our valued guest coming up of Sharon Lecter. You're noticing an increase in value here as Maeli and I get out and start networking with more and more valuable individuals. We're convincing more and more of them to come and share that value with you. So make sure you're here every week. Guys, that's all the time we have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Get out and do some real estate, and we'll see you next week. Thanks again.